32 examples of physical changes and chemical reactions in everyday life. Physical change examples. Crumpling a sheet of paper into a ball, the shape of the paper changes, but it remains paper and no new substance is produced, so it is a physical change. Cutting hair. Once hair is cut shorter, it is still hair and does not become anything else, so it is a physical change. Cutting a single sheet of paper into two pieces, the paper simply becomes two pieces, yet it is still paper without creating a new substance, so it is a physical change. Slicing an apple. After the apple is cut into pieces, it remains an apple and does not form any new substance, so it is a physical change. Painting the surface of wood. The wood only gains a layer of paint on its surface. The wood itself is not transformed into something else, so it is a physical change. Melting ice cream. Ice cream changes from a solid to a liquid, but its composition remains the same. It is still ice cream, so it is a physical change. Evaporating water. Water changes from a liquid to a gas, but its chemical composition does not change. It remains H2O, so it is a physical change. Freezing water into ice. Water turns from a liquid to a solid. Only the arrangement of molecules changes and no new substance forms, so it is a physical change. Breaking a glass bottle into pieces. Although the glass breaks into many fragments, each fragment is still glass and no new substance is created, so it is a physical change. Melting butter. Butter changes from a solid to a liquid, but its composition remains the same. It is still butter, so it is a physical change. Grinding peanuts into peanut butter. Peanuts are simply crushed into a paste. Their composition remains peanut, so it is a physical change. Folding a sheet of paper into a paper airplane. The paper's shape is altered by folding, but it remains paper without forming new material, so it is a physical change. Melting a snowman. Snow changes from a solid to a liquid, but its composition remains water, so it is a physical change. Dissolving salt in chicken soup. Salt disperses into the soup but remains salt and does not become another substance, so it is a physical change. Freezing juice into popsicles. Juice changes from a liquid to a solid, yet it is still juice and no new substance forms, so it is a physical change. Tearing a sheet of paper into small pieces, the paper becomes shredded, but it remains paper and no new substance is produced, so it is a physical change. Chemical reaction examples. Burning wood. The wood combines with oxygen in the air to produce ash and carbon dioxide, creating new substances, so it is a chemical reaction. Photosynthesis. Green plants using sunlight. Plants convert carbon dioxide and water into glucose and oxygen using sunlight, forming new substances, so it is a chemical reaction. Fireworks display. The chemicals inside fireworks decompose when heated, releasing light, heat, and various colored sparks, which are new compounds, so it is a chemical reaction. Nail rusting. A nail reacts with moisture and oxygen in the air to form iron oxide, rust, a new substance that wasn't there before, so it is a chemical reaction. Pan-frying salmon. The proteins and fats in salmon undergo the Maillard reaction at high heat, producing brown color and flavor compounds. This is a chemical reaction. Mixing lemon juice and baking soda results in a chemical reaction. Lemon juice, an acid, reacts with baking soda, a base, to produce carbon dioxide gas, water, and a new salt, sodium citrate. Mixing baking soda and vinegar, acetic acid, and baking soda react to form carbon dioxide gas, water, and sodium acetate, which are new substances, so it is a chemical reaction. Making yogurt from milk. Bacteria ferment milk sugars into lactic acid, causing proteins to coagulate and form yogurt, a different substance, so it is a chemical reaction. Autumn leaves change in color. Chlorophyll in leaves breaks down and other pigments form or become visible, changing the leaf's color. These changes in pigment molecules are chemical reactions. Grilling or frying steak. Heat makes the proteins and fats in steak undergo Maillard reactions, producing brown color and new flavor molecules, so it is a chemical reaction. Hair coloring. Chemicals in hair dye penetrate strands and change melanin or form new color molecules, permanently altering hair color, so it is a chemical reaction. Toasting marshmallows. Sugar and gelatin in marshmallows break down and caramelize under heat, forming new brown compounds and eventually carbon, so it is a chemical reaction. Toasting bread slices. Heat causes starches and proteins on the bread's surface to undergo Maillard reactions, creating brown color and new flavor compounds, so it is a chemical reaction. Lighting a gas stove. Natural gas is primarily methane. When methane burns with oxygen in the air, it produces carbon dioxide and water vapor, releases heat, and forms new substances. This is a chemical reaction. Adding yeast when making bread. Yeast ferments the sugars in the dough to produce carbon dioxide gas, which makes the dough rise. Because new gas is produced in this process, it is a chemical reaction. Using baking soda in cakes and cookies. Baking soda is sodium bicarbonate. Flour contains acidic components, and ingredients like milk, chocolate, and honey are also acidic. When baking soda is mixed with these acidic components and the flour and water is added, a chemical reaction occurs that produces carbon dioxide. The resulting gas makes cakes and cookies fluffy. Concise comparison. Physical change. Only the shape, size, or state, solid, liquid, gas, changes. The substance itself remains the same, for example, tearing paper into pieces or melting ice cream. Chemical reaction. Molecules of substances rearrange to form one or more new substances, often accompanied by bubbling, color change, or the release/absorption of heat, for example, bread turning brown when baked or a nail rusting.